2 Kings 13. Here Joash comes to see the prophet of God, Elisha. Elisha says, take a bow and arrows, and he takes them, and he says, open the window. And Elisha puts his hands upon Joash's hands, and there they are, holding the bow and the arrow, and he says, right, let it go. And he says, that represents the arrow of victory over Syria. And then he says, take the arrows and strike the ground with them. And the king strikes the ground 3 times. And Elisha says, what do you only do it 3 times for? Why don't you do it 5 or 6 times? And then you'd have had even more victory over Syria. So, the extent of God's work through you and me depends upon us. It depends upon our vision of how much he will use you. Now, the man came to Jesus with his sick child and said, if you can do anything, well, please do. And the Lord turned it right around and said, if you can believe, all things are possible to him that believes. In other words, don't come to me or to God saying, well, if you can do anything, well, whatever you can do, please do. No, I can do anything, Jesus is saying. But it depends on you. You have got your hand, as it were, on the volume control. You can turn it up, and that's over to you completely. I am unlimited. You are the one who is limiting. So you think of Abraham sort of bartering with God. If there's 50 in Sodom, would you destroy it? 50 righteous people in Sodom, would you destroy it? God says, no, I won't destroy it for 50's sake. And he bargains down 40, 30, 20, 10. If there's 10 found there, 10 righteous people in Sodom, would you destroy it? No, God says, I won't. And we're led to assume that if Abraham had had the vision and had said, well, if there's one righteous man there, and Lot was a righteous man, we're told, would you destroy it? God would have said, yeah, sure, okay, I agree. He wouldn't have said, no, I don't think so. And if Abraham had said, well, actually, will you just not destroy it, please, for my sake? I'm sure God would have said yes. David says, let your mercy be upon us, according as we hope in you. God's mercy, God's grace, God's desire to save and to work through us in this life is unlimited. It depends upon your vision of it. It depends how many times you take the arrow and strike the ground. God is unlimited, and he wants to work through you. And now it's over to us to expand our vision.